So one of the first things I'm wanting to work on this boat today is address an issue that I haven't liked ever since I bought this boat here. And that issue is these covers over the engine bay right here, this deck. Most of these cabin cruisers I've owned, they have had hinges right here, right? This one don't. You have to lift these out of here and store them somewhere. And then it's not one single panel either like it normally is. It's two panels. It's split here, see? And so you can lift this one out, but this one's fixed in and you can't get to everything underneath there unless you reach under. And they actually had it screwed. So I didn't like that. And let's say you're out on the water and it's bouncing around waves and you're trying to find a place to put this big heavy door. It is heavy. Pain in the ass, man. Straight up pain in the ass. And I don't like it. So it's an older boat. It's a 96 model. And I'm going to customize it for my use. I'm not here in the Philippines. These are so rare here anyway. I'm not trying to keep originality. I'm not trying to keep this perfect resale. I want this boat the way I want it. In fact, this whole back cushion right here is also going to go. And I'm going to put a simple railing like I've had on other boats that I've had, simple stainless steel railing back here at the back and where you climb up right here. And I want to enjoy the real estate on the deck, the space on the deck, more than a bunch of just lounges and cushions. For instance, this right here has a cushion that comes around. A table goes in right there, and the table stores in back here when you're not using it. I've got it in the garage. Then you had this cushion all over here in the bottom. That cushion there bolted in. You can see the slots for it. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And so even when you lift this hatch out, you still got to kind of duck under that seat back there and all. Don't like it. Don't like the design. And I'm going to make it the way I want it. So just imagine you're out there and you got an issue or something you need to get down in there, and you got to lift this thing out and it's flopping around the waves and you're trying to keep your balance not to fall overboard. Crazy. And then where are you going to put it? Somewhere else in the way. Scratching up your gel coats and all. And the point is, I bought these stainless steel hinges right here, and I'm going to mark it and I'm going to drill it, and I'm going to put two hinges. Of course, the reason they made that in two pieces here too is one thing, the door heavy and big, but the next thing is the way they designed this. If it been one, it comes up and hits the seat, see? So it's down here marking where I'm going to put it at, making me some pencil marks for alignments up here. Now I was looking when that hinges, it was kind of a rubbing action, which is probably dipping down a little bit, but I think I might need to trim that little lip off right down through there. Maybe 3/8 of an inch trim back on it right there. Well, I got those hinges in, and it's so nice now. I took that seat off as I said I was going to. Now that's hinged up there. Don't rub on anything. And I'll order me those little gas cylinders to go from there to up here. So now what I want to do is, I haven't started this boat in a while. And let's see what it does. Let's see if it fires up. So I've got this electric pump. When I turn the key on, I should hear the pump running. Yep. Or you can hear it running. Heck yeah. Well, there you go, right there. That answered that. And then that's my electric trim tabs, my Bennett electric trim tabs, coming back to their neutral position. I'm happy with that. Well, everybody, I am working on a boat seat. I'm going to work on one seat and one seat only. These seats in this boat were bad. Somebody recovered them. They did a shoddy job with shodding material. You can see here they put in a plug of foam and all around on it, patching them up, redoing them. The bottom was rotten. It was non-marine plywood. It was really thick and heavy, especially once it got wet. Man, it was horrible. So I have some 1/4-inch marine plywood right here. And I'm going to draw out and cut me a fresh pattern here right now. I've got some 3M adhesive that I'm going to go in here and put these places together, bond it. I don't have any foam here, but I do have this foam right here that's for insulation. So I cut me a couple pieces just now, and I'm going to glue them down on top right here. Give it 2 extra little layers. And then I'm just using materials I have in hand. Then I've got this plastic, which is, pretty much like the plastic that was used here. This plastic they used here feels almost like it's just a roll of saran wrap. And it was in little strips. And I think it's all they did here in the Philippines when they recover these. I think they just stuck some saran wrap on it. And then I'm going to repurpose this seat cover right here for right now. And I just want to do this one seat where I'm driving. And it's right over an opening right there. So you sit down on it, you just fall down into a hole. So I've got this 3M Super 77, and this is thanks to our fellow Texan expat here in the Philippines. I think he's actually back in Texas right now. Vince and Janet, they brought me this before. Thank you very much, Vince. Well, I cut me 2 blanks here out of that 1/4-inch plywood, 2 little seat bottoms. Okay, I got the first little layer of this foam bonded on here. I got the foam bonded to the plywood. I got the plywood bonded to each other, the 2 layers of it. And right now what I'm doing is I'm going in there and I'm cutting a radius on this foam, kind of like a 45-degree. All right, there we go. Okay, doing the best I can with what I have. I've got a nice fresh layer of foam over the top of this. Plus this will help keep it dry also from absorbing moisture. Man, this should work out great, man. I'm very happy with that. I think it's going to be pretty comfortable too, especially having that new firm foam on top. It's not really seat foam, but hey, it's what I can use right now. Okay, well, I want to tell you another thing about putting this thin plastic on here. It also helps you slip the cushion over that foam because the backing on your material really wants to grab the foam, right? So it's just not about trying to waterproof it in this particular kind of seat, but it also allows for a slip and being able to pull it and tuck it and everything without the 2 materials really grabbing each other. Man, it come out so much better and feels nice and really nice. I'm happy enough with it for right now, and it's definitely going to be thicker and a little firmer and not have big old holes in it. Total cost in doing this project, by the way, 0. You see it's got a opening underneath here, and you see how the rust of those staples got around this. So you sit down on there with rotten plywood in the bottom of the seat, you can see what it's going to do. It's going to break right through. So another reason I wanted to double it up. Now what I want to do is install this Garmin unit. And I was looking at the dash right here. I don't want it up there. I don't want anything up there blocking my view. You're sitting here, you're trying to look out over at windshield. And honestly, I think I'm going to put it right here. You see how it's got this little divot down? I think I'm going to put it right there. And believe it or not, I can still look at the gauges. That up down, I'm not so concerned about that one, but everything else I can still see it sitting here from my perspective. So that's all good, and this is gonna be more like my little digital dash right here anyway. So I think I'm gonna mount it down right here, and it's gonna be its home. and I think it's gonna be nice up close here where I can view it. And if I'm kind of standing up, I can just rock it up like that. If I'm in a stand-up position, if I'm sitting down, I can have it down here like this. Man, what do you think? I think it's gonna be absolutely wonderful. I tell you what, sometimes things are just like they're meant to be. So check this dash out. You see that? You see that ridge line right there? Look at that, man. That is perfect. Instead of it just being a complete rounded over slope, it's got that straight line where it breaks over there. Not really a ridge, but, and this right there is the perfect alignment for this thing, man. Right at that, that's nice straight front on here. I went ahead and just drilled one hole for now, and I'm gonna screw this down where it'll not slide around so easy on me. And I just want to barely snug that, and I'll hand tighten them afterwards. That way it's not moving everywhere, and it's easier for me to hold it and line it to drill the rest of them. So now I got that. I'm gonna take that one screw back out, got the other 3 drilled, and I'll show you why. One thing, I just don't want to screw it down with a lot of fiberglass debris in there, so we don't want all that underneath it. Then the next thing is that we want to seal it, because this is a potential for water to weep in right here. So we're going to wipe all that off, and we're going to make sure that the bottom of the bracket's cleaned here. And then I'm going to go get butyl tape, and we're going to put it down in these areas around these holes, and then we're going to screw it down, and that way we have a seal and we don't have water weeping in. And we'll find my little holes there again, poke the screw through, get this thing screwed down. Alright, so that successfully mounts it right there on the dash, which, you know, it's a pretty straightforward, little simple process. And I like it there, man. That is awesome. It's really cool little deal. Man, it has the option for electronic gauge set in here, which I don't know. I still like analog gauges too, but it would be cool if I could get the sensors for the engine that would read with this, that would meet the qualifications and specs for this. That would be a cool little add-on right there. Well, I'm happy with my progress here right now. I got me a seat cushion I can sit on again. That's nice. I'm not having to stand up over here or sit in a hole. And got the unit mounted up on the dash right there. And now what I need to do is the transducer and the wiring. So I'm gonna go ahead with that right now. It's almost lunchtime here, and I want to go check on a few other things here that the guys are working on the property, and we'll cover that in a separate video. Well, I've been down here installing the transducer. This is the model right now I have to go on this Garmin unit. Right there, you want to see a little bit about it with side view, high definition, clear view, traditional chirp. Read all that backwards. Did you notice that? And just kind of give you a little overview of it right here. So you want to keep at least, it said like 15 inches between the prop and the transducer. You want it in clear water. You want it to stick down just a little bit below the hull of the boat, and you know, you want to keep it flat. All these different things. So did all that. Pre-drilled some small pilot holes in the transom, and man, I hate drilling that transom, man. I just hate that. And I mixed up some epoxy, some marine epoxy, and the little pilot holes that I drilled, I filled them back full of fresh epoxy. I took my stainless steel screws, I rolled them in that epoxy and filled the threads up. Then I put some adhesive on the back side of the foot of that transducer, but it's not a super strong adhesive like it's going to bond it on and rip my finish if I ever go to pull it off. And got that all set, and then I did the same thing on these 2 little loops, that holders that hold the cable coming up. Now I'm to this. It wants me in the instructions, it says for me to drill a 1-inch hole through the transom. 1 inch is what it says in the paper, and this is not 1 inch. So let's look at this. So here in number 15, if you mark to pilot hole in step 11, use a 25 millimeter 1-inch drill bit to drill a pass-through hole completely through the transom. 1 inch, 25 millimeters for a pass-through hole. I so disagree with that. So let's look at this. So here is a 1-inch paddle bit, and here's this part. Let's have a look at this. You look at that. Now, why do I need to drill a 1-inch hole through? Why? To a 3/4. Still too big. So I'm going to not follow their instructions, and I'm going to drill a hole only big enough for this to fit straight through. Now I am going above the water line, but it will get sloshing water and waves, and I'm going to have to seal this. And man, that's crazy, because once you put this in through here, now you have this little cable back here going through with a 1-inch. Wow. So a little difference trying to seal up what's left over after you drill maybe a 1/2-inch hole or a 5/8 hole versus a 1-inch hole. That is just absolutely absurd in my book, and I'm not going to do it. It does come with this little cover, and that little cover, you see, they made it where something like a 1-inch would slip in there. Now they might be looking for the fact of this bending going through that hole, but I had rather just take a file or something and cut a little groove where this goes through right here to allow the cable not to pinch than to do a huge 1-inch hole. So I'm not going to follow their instructions. Well, I decided to do this in stages. You see how it has this little place that they made it to inset into that hole, and that is for that 1-inch hole. So what I did is take a paddle bit here, a 1-inch paddle bit, and I went through the gel coat and some into the resin, into the fiberglass, but not all the way through it. And it's real thick on this transom back here, enough that this piece will set into that. So that way it can set in, but I'm not through the fiberglass. I'm still like maybe another 1/4 inch or more being through it, maybe a 1/4 inch. And now I'm only going to drill a hole in that middle part just big enough for that cable in only. So that's how I've chose to do it. Then I can pack that right there with sealer around that cable and put this cover on. So that's the way I choose to do it. So I want to conclude this video here showing what happened that I did not show the unit going. Well, when we were in the United States, I ordered the power cable on Amazon at the Garmin store, and it came in, and I just threw it in with the box with the transducer, and we did our travel and come to the Philippines and all. And then I didn't get on doing this immediately or nothing. So as I was installing this, here's the cable. See, 4-pin. Now you probably think, well, it's right then, right? But it's not. One of the things I noticed that this didn't have any threads, and this is obviously threaded, and the threads weren't on there for no reason. But I looked anyway, and this is smaller. So now that I get it down here too, you'll see it's smaller, and there's no 4 pins lining up. And so I recognized instantly, I said, something ain't right here, and this don't fit on there. So I went to where I ordered this on Amazon. I went to my previous orders, and I go back and look, and sure enough, this model number is listed. So I went and got the package to this and read the part number versus what I ordered, and they flat out sent me the wrong cable. When they fulfilled the order, I had ordered the right one. They flat out fulfilled the order with the wrong part number. This one, no good. So I wrote Garmin on their store there and told them the situation, and just thought that it would be mighty kind of them if they would make it good anyway, even though it was out of the return date. But I got no response from them. So I figured as much, and I went ahead and I ordered again, and took a chance, ordered again, that they wouldn't screw up twice. And just within a couple of days, it didn't take long at all, from the US to the Philippines here. I was so shocked how quick it came. This came, and it was free shipping. The cable was below the free shipping threshold. It's like $49.99 minimum that you got to spend to get free shipping. This wasn't very much, 20 something bucks. But I needed a VHF antenna for my marine radio and the cable. And so I ordered one of those at the same time, and the two items together were eligible, so I got free shipping, and it came, like I say, unbelievably fast. And so it's been a few days now since I shot the other part of that video, but here it is, and you see this screws. So I'll be able to take the unit now and wire it up, and once I got it going and all, we'll do a video of this functioning at a later date. So I really appreciate you all watching, and if anyone know what model number this is a 94SV. Right there, EchoMap Plus 94SV. So any you out there just curious of what model it is, there it is right there. Everybody, I appreciate you watching the video today and showing these projects on the boat. If you like the content, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Write in the comments and tell me if you like this content and the little work we did today, the upgrades, the patching on the seat, the hinges on the hatch, and getting all this in. And as always, I really appreciate every one of you. Christmas is coming up. There'll be some more videos come out before Christmas, but I just want to thank you all and wish you a Merry Christmas in advance, in case some of you don't see a video again before then, maybe traveling for the holidays. And I hope that you and your loved ones have a very wonderful holiday.